Alright, Random Stranger. So following on from Marin's I'm Your Treasure Box is her Dead Man's Chest. Thank you BlackfireHedgehog for recommending this ages ago. I am excited to see where part 2 takes us. It's a completely different vibe. Whoa, it's very like battle anime music. I love how the electric guitar and piano are doubling up on that riff. Okay, so we're in A minor. And now that riff is in the synth flutes. Nice. She articulates so well. It's actually really quick. Okay. Nice counter melody. Almost like there's two voices or two characters. I don't know whether they're in conflict or in harmony though. Oh wow, that was a sharp key change too. Yeah, we're in major. A distant major key change. Double kick. Super frantic. Ooh, oh, that's a very similar transition to Treasure Box. And we are in Treasure Box mode. Like that's the riff, but just epic mode. Nice. Yes. Okay, I love how they're pulling back and then increasing the intensity. Ooh, what's that sound effect? I'm expecting that like shifts to the major key pretty soon. Yep. I love how those two voices separate and then combine again. Oh. Okay, so we did go to the major key. But man, what a what a beautiful reflective moment there. And now we're back in the fight. I did not expect that. Yep, there we go. That's the dramatic lift up that I was expecting 30 seconds ago. That was great. That was good playing with expectations. Oh, what? Hang on, I feel like more Treasure Box callbacks. But I feel like we're in a completely different key again. What? Whoa. That went by so fast. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back 1 minute or so because I feel like that last section, it kind of just blew past me and I was like, wait, what? I couldn't even process. Beautiful quiet moment, which makes the major key so much sweeter. Yep, I loved how they gave us space in between those like da-da, da-da. Yep, okay, so we lifted up, I think we went from the C sharp major, now we're pushing up to the D major, and then all the way to the end. I love those epic bells. Nice. Yep. Okay, what I really liked about that ending bit. Da, da, da. So there, normally they would put a dissonant chromatic tone in there to cause a clash or a tension. But because this is the very last run back to home, what they did was da, da, da. They didn't give us that dissonance there. It just went into this suddenly quiet part. What does that do in terms of emotional impact? Instead of this just being a straight up battle anime song, it injects a lot more raw emotion into the piece right at the end, making you think that there is a deeper emotional or like a psychological change that's happening. The character, or I'm assuming Marine herself, is undergoing emotional catharsis and she's come to some sort of enlightened moment. There's been a removal of some sort of internal conflict or a barrier, because when you train your listeners' brains to expect a dissonant note at a very specific point in time when you play these certain chords and then you don't give them that dissonance, it's kind of like this release. Some peace has been made. That was really cool. Like, it's a good way to inject more depth into an otherwise epic track. Yep. I just love how they add moments of quiet reflection just where you least expect it. Yeah, and just ending on a phrase from Treasure Box, but then shifting it slightly so that it's different and ends on a different note. Marine has evolved. Written by Toby Fox and arranged by Camellia. Honestly, not really surprised. You get a couple of really talented guys to write a battle anime track, and they are going to find ways to include twists and turns that distinguish it from your typical like epic headbanger. Loved the continuities from I'm Your Treasure Box. I actually want to go back to my favorite moments in this, which surprisingly was where we had a key change. So here, like, you expect an epic drop, but then all of a sudden we're transported to just calm seas and beautiful swelling strings. That put a different twist on the key change from the previous A minor to the new C sharp major. I think had they upped the ante there and did the typical like huge blow up in energy levels right at that key change, it would have been in danger of being too cheesy, but they flipped that expectation and dropped the energy level right down instead. Lastly, from a tonal structure standpoint, I'm Your Treasure Box was in C sharp minor. Interestingly, we did shift to the C sharp major at various points in this track. So there's a really cool parallel minor major thing happening there between the two songs. One is a bit naughty, the other is a bit more serious, and they reflect each other in those very two closely related keys. However, the fact that in Dead Man's Chest, we do shift from the C sharp major, pushing up one semitone up to the D major, that breaks out of the nice symmetry between those two songs, and I think it musically symbolizes a breakout of the box. The fact that Marine in I'm Your Treasure Box is like constantly banging on the door or the chest that she's stuck inside, and then now has literally broken out of that symmetry, that structure, is again another very cool reference to this breakthrough that she has achieved. MV time. I do notice that the number of views on Dead Man's Chest is a lot lower than Treasure Box, and I wonder why. There's that shackled girl, right? Past Marine? I guess it continues that conflict that we saw in I'm Your Treasure Box. I also wonder, I mean, you know the treasure symbolizes something for Marine. I'll trade your life for my remorse. Is that her doubting herself? Or doubting that she deserves this treasure? Maybe it's doubting that she deserves this success. Yes! Visuals definitely giving us the epic battle that we hear in the music. Oh, her past self is the dead pirate. Yes, head-banging skellies. That shadow of Marine is very ominous. Dead pirate / past Marine is here. A pair of souls. Hey, there's the closed box. The threat of the closed box. The restriction of Marine's freedom. Who opened the box? Oh, it's her crew that took the treasure out for her? That's her fans, right? Oh. Okay, that reflective moment, perfect for that scene there. So she finds her self-confidence. She takes what's hers. Damn, this is crazy. What was the budget for this? No dissonance. But she's breaking free. Damn, she totally destroyed the ship. Oh, she gotta finish her off. Oh, Marine. So she ended up like making peace with herself right at the end. That's why we didn't get that dissonance in the music. I bet this has launched so many discussions about how you interpret everything that happened in this MV. This part I'm trying to understand. It was the dead pirate or the Marine that kind of looks like the shackled Marine from I'm Your Treasure Box, saying, I'll trade your life for my remorse. It seems like Marine is commentating on some deep moral conflict within herself. You know, there's a part of her that wants to sabotage herself from getting that treasure, but then there's the pirate part of her, I guess the current her, that wants to get that treasure for the sake of setting not just herself but both of them free. Is that right? I don't know. But if you interpret this treasure that Marine is risking her life to get as success or fame or VTuber royalty, then this line becomes past Marine threatening to destroy the ambitious pirate Marine from getting success. Throughout the song, I felt this strong sense of imposter syndrome and kind of like self-sabotage. There is still some deep part of Marine from, you know, her earlier self, her pre-successful self, that still feels unworthy of the massive success that she has achieved. There are these voices that are telling her that she still isn't good enough. Or maybe there's just this fear of the success that she has achieved. You know, it's sort of like the safety of staying relatively unknown versus the bigger risk of being a huge public persona. This part where they use the counter melody to show the two different characters, I guess, clashing with each other. Again, another great parallel between the visuals and the music. I guess the irony is the dead version of her that is trying to stop her from taking the treasure is accusing her of being greedy. But the pirate Marine who is trying to steal the treasure, I guess, isn't really stealing it to be greedy so much as trying to break free from that cycle of self-doubt and self-denial and fear. It definitely sounds like Marine is singing against not just her past self who still feels unworthy, but also, I guess, all the haters out there or anyone who would say that she does not deserve her success. Small detail, there's the head-banging skeletons, and then the shadow that's against the wall as Marine walks up the steps is definitely also skeletal. And then the fact that at the end she hugs that past version of herself, or the dead version of herself, is that inner peaceful resolution. I guess it's kind of quieting the voices inside of her own head telling her that she shouldn't be pursuing what she's pursuing. The other really touching part is the appearance of her crew, like her fans, clearly. The most beautiful, most reflective part of the song, where she's singing about how she's making herself believe that she does deserve this, that she doesn't have to bind herself to this curse. It focuses on her fans bringing out the treasure box to her. Really interesting parallel, because in Treasure Box, it was Marine singing to her fans, I guess, to open her up, you know, get to know her, hang out with her, be her fans, just go on this whole journey with her. In Dead Man's Chest, though, it was her fighting herself and everyone or everything else, telling her that she doesn't deserve her success, and it's her fans that are bringing the treasure box to her and she opens it herself. This is pretty much a love letter to her fans and telling them that they have been such a huge important part of her trusting that she's doing the right thing. I'm not deep in the Marine fandom. I mean, actually with Hololive overall, I'm more of like a traveling researcher. Like I get recommended a lot of songs that I can then appreciate on a musical level, but I can also imagine how touching it would be as a fan to see this and to see that Marine acknowledges how important her fan base is to her. There's this part too. This scarlet rose, even if it fades, its soul will never wither. You know how everyone loves to pay Marine out about her age? Like, I don't know if that's still a thing, that she's been 17 for about 5 or 6 years or something like that. I do like that line referring to the soul that will never wither kind of gives a finger to the whole aging thing. You know, Marine is timeless and will clearly live on into eternity. Countless ghost pearls, eternal beauty. Who cares about an illusion like that? How I interpreted that was, yes, she is aiming to be a successful VTuber or successful in whatever it is that she decides to do. But also, it's not just about that. Like, it's also about enjoying the journey while she can, because nothing really lasts forever. Do you have the determination to let go? Whatever happens in the future happens. Like, she's already achieved something that very, very few people can, like something amazing being where she is now. But this ending to me says that it is not her success that defines her or gives her value as a person. What really matters is her believing in herself and recognizing her own value as a person, even outside of, like, you know, the VTuber Hololive success, outside of all the acclaim that she has. So whether she keeps going on this path, like if we have actual literal Baba Marine when she's 80 and she's still at Hololive, or she chooses to do something else entirely, she'll just be fine because all she really needs is herself. Man, that was another banger that wasn't just a banger, you know? I'm really grateful that you guys finally pushed me to watch and to listen to and really dive deeper into this set of 2 songs. It's life affirming to kind of just see and to hear art like this.